Hello, my name is Mike Florin, and I'm the owner of Low Cost Mortgage. Today's your weekly update for March 22nd, 2024. February was a pretty good year, or pretty good month. It was actually the best month out of the year for realtors, home sales, and we did a decent amount of volume as well. In fact, a lot of lenders picked up volume in February that they haven't seen since, last year sometime. But it was a good month across the board for most people. You've got a few good key things in February. Sales were the highest number of existing home sales in the last year happened in February, and that might roll into March, and that might be fairly good for sales in general overall this year. Now, that lawsuit with NAR and the settlement, that might affect some things, but you as realtors, you can handle that. I have good faith in you guys being able to adapt to that situation itself, right? Other things we have is the rates themselves. They went down 3 weeks ago, and then they came back up last week, and then they're coming back down again. Well, the main reason they're coming back down is data. Lots of data, right? And you've got good data, bad data, data that pushes rates down, data that pushes rates up. Well, the Fed didn't increase rates. They didn't decrease. They said, we're going to see what happens, and they just held it the same, and that is a downward pressure in rates because at least people know, or investors know, the owners of the money supply know, or are relatively assured that there's going to be some stability. At least it's not going to go up. Maybe it's going to go down. But good house pricing numbers actually affect that good in a good way, positive way, downward pressure on rates. So you've got different pieces of data. Now, next week, we expect rates to keep going down. Why? Because it's actually the data that's going to come out next week doesn't look like it's going to be that proportionate to affecting rates all that much. Should be a fairly quiet week. But caveat here. A few months ago, it was supposed to be a quiet week, and rates got really bad, and nobody knew why. So could it go either direction? It could. But today, we're floating down. A lot of previous loans, we're going to go ahead and do that before the weekend. And then, of course, new loans, we're keeping them floating through Monday, Tuesday, if the buyers want to get a better deal. Rates. Let's talk rates for a second. I really want to talk about this. There's a big difference between us and everybody else. We are really fast, really good, and we choose to be cheap. And this is what it looks like. I talked to 3 competitors today. One was a new contact. The other 2 I've known for a really, really long time. Years and years of time, close to a decade for both of them. But anyways, most of my competition, and not all, but most of them, they're okay with government rates being in the mid-6s. They want to make extra money. They want to make 2.5%, 3% of the loan amount as commission income. They want to make a lot of money. But we do things a little different here. We're trying to get the borrowers the best deal possible. So they're in the mid-6s and we're in the mid-5s. With a little bit of money, we're in the low 5s. So it's a substantial difference. You're looking at roughly a percentage point or so in difference between all 3 of those competitors. I'm not going to name names. You as realtors, you can go out and talk to a few of them and see where they are. The rates are going to be in the email. But for us, government, mid-5s, a little bit of money, middle-ish, low 5s, depending on credit score, of course. And then conventional, we're solid mid-6s right now. And I like being there. I like being, really fast and efficient, and then of course being really low on rates. That's what people want, is a good deal. We've got rates moving downward, so hopefully this weekend is good for you realtors. Get out there and shake your tail, but also figure out how you're going to adapt with the NAR thing. I bet you a bunch of offices right now, and I know of quite a few offices that are just sitting down saying, okay, how do we do this? We have the buyer agreements. The buyer agreements have been there forever, but let's actually just change the way we're doing things a few different ways. Some realtors already hedged. Some realtors already knew what was going to happen, or at least had an idea, and they've already changed what they were doing beforehand. So what they have to do now is very minimal. But regardless, we turned on Florida and Wyoming. That was news from a few weeks ago. I don't think I talked about that yet. And right now we're in the middle of opening the South. So I'm in the middle of opening up Tennessee, South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia. And then we're going to go from there to see where we want to go. It's probably going to be the Midwest all the way up and over to Montana. So anyways, have a great week. I'll talk to you guys later.